Morning and welcome to St. John Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Davidson, the shepherd here at St. John. I wanted to leave you with a devotion today. You know, a lot of times we hear, but we don't listen. Our focus today comes from Isaiah chapter 6. Isaiah writes about 800 years before our coming of our Christ. It says this, and this is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1 and following. Hear the word of the Lord. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him stood the seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one called to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The glory in earth is full of all of his glory. And the foundations of the threshold shook at a voice of him who called at the house was filled with smoke. And I said, Woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips. And I dwell in the midst of the people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a burning coal that he had taken with tongs from the air. And he touched my mouth and said, Behold, this has touched your lips, your guilt is taken away, and your sin is atoned for. And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and whom will go for us? Then I said, Here I am, send me, send me. And he said, Go and say to his people, Keep on hearing, but do not understand. Keep on seeing, but do not perceive. Make the heart of his people dull, and their ears heavy, and blind their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their hearts, and turn to be healed. What I find interesting about this passage specifically is that Isaiah sees all this stuff going on, all of the glory of God, the things that we wish and hope that we can see today and now. And there's a song going on, and he's so quick to speak. He just wants to say, he just wants to blurt out the great things of God. But he's not listening. He's not hearing that beautiful song of salvation that is being sung by the angels. He doesn't just sit back and get to enjoy the glory of God that's coming. And the minute that he speaks, he realizes that maybe he shouldn't have. Just like we do from time to time. How many times have we said something to the same effect of Isaiah? Woe to me, for I am unclean. I am a man of unclean lips. In other words, I shouldn't have said that. I should have just kept my mouth quiet and listened. Because too often we hear, but we don't listen. And when we talk to our brothers and sisters, we want to be heard, but we never want folks to listen, do we? Of course we do. We want others to listen to what we have to say, but we don't listen to what they have to say. Too often when folks speak to us, we're too busy in our own minds and our own heads, thinking of something opposite to say to them. And a lot of times when people argue or fight, it's because they're not listening. See, today is a day to operate. Today is a day to think straight. Today is a day to listen to the word of the Lord. Woe to me, for I am unclean. I am a man of unclean lips, because the grace of God has come to you today. So that when God speaks, then it's time to move. Then it's time to speak. If we're listening, as God guides you today, then you can move forward. So when he comes to you today and he says, listen, who am I going to send? You're the one that can say, send me, send me. Because we know that folks around us may not be listening. As we had to learn that hard lesson, guess what? Now it's our job to teach that to others. I pray that today that your eyes would be open, that your ears would listen and not just hear. May the God of grace and all mercy walk with you today and always. And in Jesus' name, all God's people said, Amen and amen.